Hello class, today we are constructing parallel and perpendicular lines. If you remember, geometric constructions only use a straight edge like a ruler and something to draw circles with, so a compass. Alright, so we can make our lovely little circles. Alright, so here we go. What we're going to do first, we are going to construct a line perpendicular to line L that passes through point P. Now, if you will remember, what we've done before is we drew a perpendicular bisector, right? So it drew a perpendicular line and it bisected a segment, went through the midpoint of a segment. But this is a line, doesn't have a midpoint. And even if it did, we're not looking for the midpoint, we're looking for a perpendicular line through point P, not the midpoint, right? So what we're going to do, though, is very similar. We are actually going to use our compass to make point P the midpoint of a segment. So we're just going to set our compass out here somewhere, it doesn't really matter, and we're going to make a mark across this side, and then we're going to spin it around and make a little tick mark on that side, and now point P is the midpoint of this little segment I have created on the line. And so what I'm going to do is I am just going to bisect this segment. So I'm going to come over here and I will start right here, start at one end. Now remember, we want the radius to be more than halfway, so I can't leave it here because this is halfway. I need to be more than halfway, so I'm just going to make it a little bit wider. That'll be fine. And I want to go up above the point line and down below the line, right? Like so. Now I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to center it over here on the other tick mark I made, the other endpoint of this new segment I have. Make a tick mark there, spin it around, make a tick mark right there, get my straight line, and there it is. You notice it goes right through point P. And I have a perpendicular line going through point P. Like that. Not too bad. So what we did is we used our perpendicular bisector that we used before, and we just made a segment for it to bisect. Make sure that the midpoint is point P. Okay, now we're going to do another one that is very similar. What we're going to do here, again, construct a line perpendicular to line L that passes through point P, but this time notice point P is not on the line. All right? And still, the only thing we can do with perpendicular lines that we can construct, that we know of right now, is perpendicular bisector, right? So what I have to do is make sure that my perpendicular bisector goes through point P. So to do that, I'm going to center the compass on P, and spin it around here, and I want to make sure that the radius is going to go through line L. So it's going to go through L there, it's going to go through L there, so we're good. And so I will now make my little mark, make one on that side, and make one on that side. There we go. So now I have that. I'm going to bisect this segment that I've made, the segment that goes from this tick mark to that tick mark. So again, we set our center on one endpoint, make sure that we are more than halfway, and our radius, radius is definitely more than halfway. And I'm just going to, this time, make a mark down below the line. I could do it up above it, but if you remember, it only takes 2 points to make a line. And this will give me 1 point right here, and the other point I already have, it's point P. So get my straight line tool, and there it is, perpendicular line going through point P. Right. I could have done that over here on the first one if I wanted to. I could have just done the bottom one there because I've already got point P to be my second point, or you could just do the top one like that, and point P, and the top one is your second point. That could be fine, but I just felt like doing it on both of them. And so I could even just as easily have done these tick marks up above it right here, and it still would be point P, and my tick mark intersection would give me a perpendicular line. All right, this next one we're going to do is a bit different. Instead of doing a perpendicular line, this time we're going to do a line that is parallel going through point P. And what we're going to do this time is not use perpendicular bisector, because we don't want a perpendicular line, we want a parallel line. So to start this, we are going to draw a line through point P and point L. Doesn't matter what it is. I could do it like this. I could do it really steep like so, but then it doesn't hit point L, so that's no good, line L, but whatever. I just need a line that goes through point P and line L, like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this angle right here, okay? So I center the compass on the vertex, and let's make this a little smaller, about there, that's good. And I'm going to make an arc going across, and I'm going to copy the arc up here. All right, like so. All right, now what we do, center the compass on one of these little tick marks there, and we want to measure how wide the angle is with our compass. So I'm going to take this, and there it is. I'm just going to make a little arc like so, and I'm going to bring it up here, and I am going to duplicate that arc. So right here, going across the first arc, and now I get my straight line tool, which is, where to go? Straight line tool. All right, and you just go through point P and right there. So like so. Go back the other way. And now I have a parallel line. All right. Real quick, I'm going to do this one with the Delta Math. So I have a little software here so we can see it that way. Let's see. Parallel line through a point. Come on, parallel line through a point. There it goes. All right. And I want to do it here because with the software it'll snap to the points and it's less likely to be off by a little bit. So first we're going to take a line going from point V anywhere on this other line. You can do it like this, you can do it way out here, you can do it way down there. Doesn't matter. I'll just stick it here. Boom. Next we take the compass and I'm going to copy this angle. So I set the radius here and draw an arc going across, bring the radius down here, and make an arc going across, like that. Measure how wide the angle is, so I center the compass on one point of these intersections and go to the other intersection. Make the little mark there, and then bring it down here and make a mark over that. And now I get a line going from through point V and this little intersection, like so. And now I have parallel lines. Let's go ahead and hit submit so we can see that I did do this right. Yay, I did it right. And that's how it works. You're gonna make this, copy this angle over there. First thing you gotta do though, a lot of people forget, you gotta make this line that goes across from point V to the line you're looking for. All right? And that is constructing parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So remember, with parallel lines, what you're going to do is you're going to copy the angle. With perpendicular lines, you're basically just doing the perpendicular bisector. You just have to set up this first little bit first so you have a segment that you can bisect. All right? And hopefully you found that useful. I will see you in the next video.